Is the Indonesia channel.
Hello and welcome to Hot Indonesia, where we get things right. I'm Dalton Tanorak in Jakarta. Here is this week's HI Hot List.
New dawn, what we and the world expect of the new president. Media message, will the public ever again trust the news media after a election? And gadget madness, why must consumers always have the latest hardware?
Sitting beside me this week is Rahayu Saraswati, Sarah, actress, activist, and Congresswoman. I got to get used to saying that.
Thank you.
And Yeni Wahid, director of the Wahid Institute, daughter of the 4th President of Indonesia, and Congresswoman soon to be. 5 years is a very short time. Hot topic number 1, folks. New dawn. There were smiles when the General Elections Commission confirmed on July 22nd what at least half of the Indonesian population believe, that small-town mayor, big city governor Joko Widodo is now president of the world's 4th biggest country. And when the man called Jokowi gave his acceptance speech aboard a traditional fishing boat with lasers, he called for national unity, first thanking his opponent and then calling Prabowo Subianto his friend. Very nice touch. Very nice, good way to start the remarks, comforting immediately a nation seeking and desperately wanting political peace.
Yes, and the country is very much polarized and divided. You know, you need gestures from both sides to make sure that we don't waste any more time and energy, you know, into more fightings and move forward, basically.
Because there were fears.
I think there's also expectations. That traditionally, the expectation is when you contest in a race and you declare not winning the election, then there's an expectation that you would give a concession speech. So I suppose that didn't happen.
It is different, yes. At this point, it is different.
It didn't come from his opponent, and that's what some people were surprised, that your uncle, in the disclosure, Prabowo Subianto is your uncle. Sarah, as far as you know, what's the rationale for what he said and did?
Yeah, so a lot of people, and I think a lot of the media played a part in this, and in that in his statement, it was quite clear that he wasn't pulling out of the race itself. He was withdrawing from the tallying that was taking place, that would, it was going to be announced that day on the 22nd of July by the General Elections Commission. And what was happening at that point, what a lot of people do not understand, was that it was a grueling process to actually get the commission to try to get them to postpone the announcement, because there were so many and I cite this from the New York Times, irregularities, because we have data. I'm speaking as a congresswoman-elect from the Great Indonesia Movement Party. There's data that basically, you know, factual data that shows that there were irregularities in 52,000 something votes.
But to be fair, irregularities happen on both sides.
Exactly. So this is no, that's not saying irregularities just from our side.
Right.
What we're trying to get to do, and this is what we need to get straight, is that at the moment, Prabowo Hatta, from the opponent party, you would say, we are actually contesting the results. We are going through the legal process of going to the Constitutional Court, and
which is fair.
And I don't know if there's a procedure for him to just step out of that recounting situation.
Right.
I mean, you follow the procedure, then you argue it later instead of walking out. That's what disappointed some people, actually, Sarah.
Well, here's the thing. It was already a long process, and we just would, you know, it's, if we're not going to agree with the final result because it's not based on truth, why stay? That's it was basically just.
But he didn't know what the result was going to be. What if it was?
No, we knew already. No, we knew already, because obviously everything was coming out from the bottom, which is from the provincial level, and we already had from the provincial.
How did you know that? Because he was saying early on, let's wait till the commission on the July 22nd comes out, and he didn't want to wait.
Our team already had because what they did in the, you know, it's like a stage-by-stage process. You go from the booths level to the district level to the provincial level, and here it's just basically calling out everything that was from the provincial level. And we were already having trouble contesting the results in the provincial level, and this is already backed up by the body that was actually in charge of supervising the elections.
I think you wait till the results come out and then you contest instead of walking out before it even came out.
I think it's more advised by the legal counsel.
Yeah,
in
right.
My
It
opinion.
was a lot of voices,
they didn't read the laws and regulations, and actually the law says that you cannot withdraw from the election because you will be not only you will be
in
fined,
the law it says you need to read the whole law. The law says that you can withdraw. You cannot withdraw until the election takes place, which is on the 9th of July. Right. Afterwards, you can withdraw.
Okay, he did what he did. He did what he did, and many, as you read and heard, are asking him to at least be gracious.
But by the way, again, it's not withdrawing from the race. It's withdrawing from the tallying process
and
not accepting.
His team had to explain that later.
Accepting the result if it was based on truth, but not accepting the process that wasn't based on truth.
People are asking him to be a statesman. You would be a statesman if you graciously accepted the vote of the people, and then still contest it, but say until that time, good luck and best wishes to the president-elect.
That's a twist. No, that's a twist of words, Dalton. That's a twist of words. What you put right there was if you accepted the votes. Now, that's the problem. A lot of people's votes. No. A lot of people's votes were not being counted fairly, and that's a democracy. We're fighting for our democracy.
In the world,
it's not every day. It's not every single year. That
Al
it's
Gore
not every 5 years.
W. Bush. I mean,
right,
it went to court.
It went to court. 1%.
Here's the thing. What happened here was such an irregularity in the system that we needed to fight for truth. We needed to fight for democracy.
Understand.
And this is the first time in Indonesia that was that in a democracy like this that it was between two parties, two opponents.
It was this close.
And I'm not saying this close in terms of yes, we know that it was different. We also need to put in the fact that there was already data from the military and the police. We don't know whether it's true or not yet, but it did come out that they gave the data to Chikas. Now, if it is true,
the president actually already congratulated Jokowi.
And many world leaders have already congratulated
already. Yeah. So I don't think you can really rely on data
exactly.
On
but
now
see, that's the thing.
Okay,
which one can we actually rely on if not the data from the president?
Not happy with the process, so he's that's fine.
No, it's not just my uncle. It's the 50-something million people. It's the 60-something million people who voted for him.
Okay. But the president already said that he already acknowledged that Jokowi is the new president. That's the thing. I mean, if you're going to rely on his data shows that Jokowi
which is why we want the truth. We want the truth, which is let the law, let the legal system take place.
But then he should have stuck in the process thing and then go through the withdrawing. That confused people.
Well, that's fine.
So
I mean, that's your opinion, and I think a lot of people's opinion is that he needs to fight for truth.
If it all is resolved and the results are confirmed, you expect your uncle to graciously accept defeat if that time comes.
If it is confirmed that by the High Commission that the result of the General Elections Commission was exactly what it was supposed to be, then yes, of course.
And knowing him, he will come out and say, I support
When has he not?
If he wouldn't, then she will drag him. Or, she will train him.
No, not at all. It's not me. I know my uncle. My uncle is a man of integrity and honor. Yeah. And if he had wanted the power so badly, he could have done it with coup d'etat, which he did not.
Okay, that's a whole
I don't really want to go there.
Yeah, but you know what? I'll lay it out on the table.
All right. Okay, we'll see what happens. And when that day comes, we look forward to your uncle saying whatever he's going to say. Okay, Hot Indo will continue shortly.
How did the media become the message and not the messenger?
iPop is your guide for Indonesian music videos and Indonesian artists. Want to see Indonesian artists? Watch iPop playlist.
welcome to Yoga Bliss. Exhale, reaching down to triangle pose. Come follow me on my travels every week on the Indonesia channel. Namaste.
The Indonesia Channel is the country's first 24-hour English TV channel. And it's cool, offering a stylish mix of entertainment and news programs created for viewers around the world. You'll see the latest fashion trends in the world's fourth most populous country, play executive golf with host Lorraine Oct, plus movies, dramas, and travel, all on the Indonesia Channel for the world to see.
You are watching the new Hot Indonesia with me, Sarah and Yenny. And here's hot topic number 2, media message. International journalistic ethics are simple. Tell the truth, don't take sides, and get both sides. This past presidential election was different. Newspapers and TV stations were obviously supporting candidates with ties to their owners. It was not Indonesia's finest media moment. You know, and I say this a bit sadly because as a member of the media, of course, but up until this election, I felt the media here was kind of growing up, you know, since the days of post-Suharto. But there was no question this time and no denials from the media themselves that they had a favorite horse in the race.
Some actually declare their support quite openly, like Jakarta Post, for example.
Yeah, and you know, that's okay.
Some didn't even bother to declare, but you know, their reporting was just so biased.
Are common in every part of the world, New York Times, you know, but that's restricted to the editorial page. What we saw was news coverage obviously favoring a candidate. And some of the reporters I know and editors felt badly about that too. Headlines portrayed their favorite candidate favorably, and headlines to the other one was very negative. It was very, very obvious. And who's hurt?
The people.
The people.
The people is hurt.
Everybody. Some of my friends have even decided to stop subscribing to some you know, magazines or newspapers because they just felt so hurt by it, because they, you know, they're like, well, I'm not getting the right kind of education from this because obviously it's very biased.
I mean, I'm trying to figure out why this happened in this election. I mean, was it so critical their candidate won, or was it because this was wide open, or everything?
Well, again, the ownership also matters in this case. I mean, when owners of the media declare their support for certain candidates, then there's that sort of sometimes direct,
or indirect.
Or indirect, you know, for...
Okay, the two TV news stations, one was supporting one candidate, the other one was supporting the other ones. And, you know, you would see that because their candidate will get more airtime, and that's documented by the broadcaster.
It became a joke.
Yeah,
yeah, exactly.
Ways,
I mean, even during the World Cup games, you know, people, you know, during Brazil versus Germany, the tragic event, the tragic game.
The tragic game. I mean,
very tragic game.
Well, 7-0. Yeah.
And you know, and people joked about the results after. They said, oh, this certain TV, if you watch the TV, the result will be different. If they watch, you know, Brazil will win in this.
But in a way, I guess the two TV news stations kind of balance each other out. You know, because one was favoring one was the other. I mean, that's.
But it was just really bad, though. I really wish that none of them would do that, because it just made a lot of us not want to watch the news or any of the TV channels at all. And I mean, look at the other stuff that they're actually presenting. You know, their TV channels. I'm like, I'm sorry, they're not exactly what we would want to watch half the time, you know, with
I'd rather watch Fox News.
Oh, my.
Oh, that's okay. sorry. No, nothing
that's a
against,
different thing.
sorry.
No,
You can say I'm more
Let me
Democrat.
tell you, the Fox News slogan is what the journalistic creed is, which is we report, you decide. What it became in Indonesia was we report and we decide as well.
But
That was the
very
problem.
true.
Didn't they take out the news part? It's just Fox now?
No, it's Fox News. Still, they have a news
Thanks.
department. Okay,
Okay.
but let's talk about who is hurt again. You know, the voter is the biggest victim of this, because what happens now is he or she has begun to assume that everything they see or read comes from a certain political position. They cannot believe what they see or read, and that's unfortunate.
And I have to be the pessimist or the whatever. I'll just be the practical one in this case, where before she was talking about money, and this time I will mention about the money, because there's a lot of financial transactions that were happening during the campaigns. I mean,
You mean involving the
they
media?
can't say, yeah, for the media. They can't say that, oh, we didn't pay for the slot for the ad. They still had to pay for the ad slot.
Yeah, on both channels.
On both channels. But that's the thing. It's like you just have to calculate the number of, even with the local newspapers down in the
Well,
district.
ads are one thing. That's paid advertisements. But we're talking about news coverage.
No,
which is,
I get that, but still, when we're talking about that, it also plays a role how much
Public perception.
how much they're actually getting, and then they go.
I see.
I think
so
what she's
we
trying
want
to
this one."
insinuate is the
I'm
fact
trying
that
to
this
insinuate.
this
Somebody had
place
more money to
this
buy
pla-
ads.
Thank you.
Well, by buying ads, then they can put a certain influence on the news coverage.
On the news coverage.
I think that's what she's trying to
I see. Don't-
insinuate.
But there was very
You know,
there was,
there's a good connection and communication by buying the ads, and you start talking about something else, and then, you know, obviously it leads to other things.
you know, it was just from a media standpoint, from a journalist standpoint, it was
It's appalling.
It was sad to see, and you were a journalist too at one time.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's got to be different next time, and I think we got to get back to where the lines are drawn.
But how do you redraw the line? That's
I know
the thing.
that's the media has to make amends, and I don't know how you do that. I've never
Yeah.
seen a country do this before,
Yes.
except, and of course, our friend Kim Jong-un in North Korea.
Well, first of all, people need to
Well, we
just.
got more similarities than I think your cousins.
We need to have. Yeah, exactly. Hello.
Who said that there was similar? We were worse than North Korea.
Hey, you guys were
okay.
saying there weren't any, so maybe now you see some similarities
All right.
here.
Okay,
you
hey,
know,
let's
with
talk
the
about
whole
something more
opinion and all
fun
that.
now, because
Okay.
more Hot Indo is coming up.
Who really needs the iPhone 6?
Hai, apa kabar? I'm Deborah Priscilia, business anchor from Today's Indonesia. Welcome to our viewers on Singapore Starhub Channel 171. See you on the show. Hari berganti hari, seolah waktu akan berlari.
I am Indonesia.
I'm Indonesia.
I am Indonesia.
I'm Indonesia.
I'm Indonesia.
I am Indonesia.
We are Indonesia.
iPod playlist is superb. Hi, I'm Chantal Laura Keel, and you're watching the Indonesia channel for the world to see.
You are watching Hot Indonesia from Jakarta. Hot topic number 3, gadget madness. Now, it happens regularly. As soon as the launch of new models are announced, people stop dating and the national economy takes a dip because everyone's saving up for the latest Samsung or iPhone. In this latest case, the iPhone 6 that went on sale this past week. Long lines, pleas to relatives in America to reserve one. Happens like the moon rising over Makassar. Regularity. Okay, here we go. My personal disclosure, ladies, and you know this. My phone's 7 years old. It still works. Why change it if it's not broken?
Motorola.
And a second, we're not an endorsement, but the second disclosure.
I wonder if they still produce that.
I have the iPhone, but this is the 5S.
You have
this
the
is
iPhone?
It was
You
the
even
most
have
recent
an
model
iPhone?
up until last week, and I haven't opened the box. I've had this sitting in for like 6 months.
Actually, it's quite fun. It's quite fun to use that.
Are we all on our phones?
Yeah, okay, so my point is, we know why companies do it. It's to make money.
But it's been lasting you
Well,
for...
this is different from this to this, of course, but I'm saying from iPhone 5S to iPhone 6, I mean, there's minor differences.
Plus the way.
Yeah, and 6 Plus. Of course, they're bigger screens.
The bigger screens,
but come on, do you need
But
it?
I bet people still go back to the 5S. I think the 6, the iPhone 6, I mean, there was some reviews that it wasn't that...
So I'm good with this?
wasn't as-
I don't have to get the 6?
Well, first of all, you need to open up
You know what you should do? You should get a 6 and you can give this one to me.
Oh, jeez, okay.
Yeah, I think a lot of people out there like Dalton, they're going to start writing it. If you don't want your phone, we'll take it.
We can give it away on this show. Like, if they answer questions or something. No. Come on, you guys want me to open this, right?
It has been opened, apparently.
Answer my question, though. What is this create? Why this mania for people to have the latest gadget? In a country that's developing, people don't have that much money.
I think it's the same psychology that drives people to have the latest handbags or shoes or clothes or cars or
but dresses
whatever.
still, like, have
In fact,
technology
some
edge.
or even beauty queens, as their dates. If it's his, Miss Indonesia 2012 compared to Miss Indonesia like 1997, it's quite different.
So they
you know
move
what I mean? So
they move up to the year. Okay, I don't want the old model. I want the new model. Okay, is that all it is? Is that all it is?
Is that it?
But if it's technology, that's different. But there aren't much changes.
To be fair, there are some out there who are very much in touch with, the technology aspect of it as not just following the trend, as in they really do their research.
But they aren't
on
the ones lining up at the mall.
How do you know?
Because they say, oh, I got to get it. I don't know why. I mean, they interview them.
But that's what I'm saying, is to be fair, let's not forget those of them who are researching and
the
they
6
say,
has a bigger
this
screen.
is good, this is like this,
It's
and that, blah,
$100
blah.
more, but okay.
Now, this just because it's something new. Just wait for another
Well,
year
it
and
has more
something else will come out.
features, and it has, it
Now you sound like
accommodates
you work
more
for Apple.
needs, and what?
It's not like you work
I've
for
always
Apple.
been an Apple girl for like 15 years.
You guys, are you going to buy the new one?
No, I just wait for my husband to buy me one.
I'm comfortable with my Samsung Note 3.
And that's not a promotional
that's not a promotional
So
thing. I'm just balancing off all
we're
the
on the same mind that if it ain't broken, don't fix it, right?
Yeah,
and that's why 7 years.
You know what? And I miss my Nokia E75 that worked for years.
You should not have changed it, but
no,
it broke.
Okay. No, not the software, the hardware.
The hardware. My hardware is always still
So
hard.
anybody else have some spare parts? The Motorola, he needs
it still works.
Yeah, it's still working.
Okay. Enough of this. Feedback time, where you talk and we listen. Eddie tweeted this: more than just something. Love your TV so much. Well, that's a better compliment than more than just nothing. Thank you, Edita. If you have any feedback on what you've heard or would like to suggest a topic for us to dissect, please email us at hotindo@theindonesiachannel.com or comment through our Indonesia Channel Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram pages. Final words, Yenny.
On the last 21st of September, my institute organized a celebration of International Day of Peace with thousands march and simply state their commitments to peace. And it's actually a day designated for people to celebrate peace, for a while, just for one day, for warring parties to lay down their weapons, to end conflicts, just for one day, and just to be peaceful. And I'm just wondering why, if you know, wouldn't it be wonderful if we could just celebrate that kind of day every day, not just once a year?
Yes.
Yes, and
good.
I saw even the dogs from the animal shelter showed up for that.
Yes.
Yes,
So
you and
cute.
your mom were leading the parade. Very
So
nice.
cute.
And I apologize for not being there. Okay, and me and Sarah.
The two of you.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
did not even know.
Final words. She said it on the show. Anyway, final words, Sarah.
Okay. So, what was I saying? Yes, I was going to say that we talked about this a few episodes ago about media and how we are losing faith in our media because our media, you know, through the elections have shown a little bit of, how do I say this? Unneutrality? How do you say it? It's just very subjectivity and bias, you know, and all that. So
both sides.
For all sides, you know, all sides. It's very difficult for us to find one that is actually quite neutral and is critically looking at things in a critical way, aside from the Indonesia channel, yes. But I think it's just a reminder for all of us out there, every time we're reading something now, just make sure we take everything with a bit of knowledge of which side that specific newspaper or article is.
Reading a certain publication. That's
I was reading a certain publication, and I'm quite disappointed at what is being written. I'm sorry, I'm quite protective about my own family, so about my father. So, no, he did not scold Ahok, okay? The publication wasn't even there when the meeting happened. So I don't know how they got the word scold.
And my final words. I have a friend who just converted from Christianity to Islam. His church friends were very surprised. His Muslim colleagues welcomed him. But you know what? In the end, I think it really doesn't matter what others think, as Sarah just said, that it's important and right for my friend to do what's important for him. So I wish him well in his new faith. And that is Hot Indonesia for this week. For Sarah and Yenny, I'm Dalton Talmata. See you again next time.